Welcome back everyone. Today we learn about types of pollination. Let's start by looking at the differences between wind-pollinated flowers and insect-pollinated flowers. In wind-pollinated flowers, the anthers are pendulous. But in insect-pollinated flowers, the anthers are enclosed in the flower. The filaments of wind-pollinated flowers are longer to hold the anther outside of the flower. But the filaments of insect-pollinated flowers are shorter to allow the anthers to stay inside the flower. Wind-pollinated flowers have feathery stigmas that are outside the flower, whereas insect-pollinated flowers have small stigma that are enclosed within the flower. Wind-pollinated flowers have small and dull petals, whereas insect-pollinated flowers have large, colorful, conspicuous bright petals. The pollen grains of wind-pollinated flowers are small, light, have a smooth surface, dry and dusty and round in shape. The pollen grains of insect-pollinated flowers are large, heavy, have a rough surface, sticky and has spikes. There is no nectar guide in wind-pollinated flowers. But there is the presence of nectar guides or honey guides in insect-pollinated flowers. Lastly, there is absence of nectar in wind-pollinated flowers. But there is the presence of nectars in insect-pollinated flowers. Now, let's look at the difference between self-pollination and cross-pollination. Self-pollination occurs when pollen from the flower is transferred to the same flower's stigma, or when pollen from a flower is transferred to a different flower's stigma. But self-pollination occurs on the same plant. In cross-pollination, while pollen from a flower is transferred to a different flower's stigma, that flower is on a different plant. Regardless if it is self-pollination or cross-pollination, it has to be of the same species. In self-pollination, there is little variation in the offsprings. But in cross-pollination, more variation arises in offsprings. Self-pollination is effective and has a high chance of success, whereas in cross-pollination, it is less effective and it has a lower chance of success. Lastly, self-pollination is economical as it requires fewer pollen grains. But cross-pollination is less economical and requires more pollen grains. That's all for today. Thank you for the effort to learn with me. Stay tuned for more interesting lessons. See you next time. Bye-bye.